There's a lot of different hidden settings and features that you can turn on your iPad that will sometimes let you use them for other things. So, for example, the iPad has a bunch of accessibility settings built into it that are designed to work with students with special needs. But you can sometimes use those settings to help you do other things with your iPad as well. So, one of my favorite tricks and hacks is to enable something called Zoom. So if I open up my settings app, under general, there's an option called accessibility. And when I tap on accessibility, there is a setting in there for Zoom, which is normally off by default. So if I tap on Zoom, and in Zoom, I'm simply going to enable that Zoom by tapping it on. Now what that does is that turns on zooming, and it turns on a gesture which is using 3 fingers to tap. So if I tap with 3 fingers on the screen, if I double tap, it'll zoom in, and if I double tap again, it zooms out. Now once I'm zoomed in, if I hold my 3 fingers on the screen and simply pan and zoom around, it will simply navigate around the screen. So if I am doing something on my iPad, I really need to zoom in to make sure all the students can see it, maybe something like a website address or whatever, I can just double tap with 3 fingers to zoom in and then pan around with 3 fingers in order to get to the part I want showing on the screen. Now there is another option in Zoom settings that's called showing the controller. This is just another way of zooming instead of using the 3 fingers. If I turn the controller on, it gives me this little floating controller that I can tap and move around. And if I double tap that controller, it will zoom in. And if I double tap again, it zooms out. And if I double tap to zoom in, I can actually tap that little circle in the center of that. It's kind of like a joystick, and I can drag it from one side to the other to pan around and zoom. Me personally, I like it better just using the 3 finger gestures, but it's just a matter of personal preference. So if I don't want that, I can simply turn the show controller option off, and it'll go back to those gestures. So that is how you can enable Zoom under your accessibility under settings, general accessibility.